Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I wanted to go ahead and play this video and then just listen to it, and then we're going to talk about it. So here we go.
I saw a video recently where a Black woman was asking who the hell can correct Black women, and then another Black woman stitched it and was all dramatic like, who's not telling Black women? Y'all don't understand what she's saying. Black women overwhelmingly are not receptive to constructive or critical feedback, are not receptive to accountability. Okay, overwhelmingly so, to where when somebody like me says being a baby mama is not the goal, y'all want to get in the comments and defend baby mama-ness as opposed to just reflecting and saying, you know what, if I could do it over again, I would not have had this man's child, but I love my children. Woo, woo, woo. I could say being a crackhead is not what it is. Y'all gonna say, you judging. Woo, woo, woo. Like, y'all don't want any level of standard for yourselves because you're still full of shame for the decisions that you've made. I saw a video recently where a Black woman.
She hit the nail on the head about the shame part towards the end. When she talked about feeling ashamed over the decisions that you've made, the shame is, in my opinion, the root of dodging accountability. Because when you take accountability for a bad decision, you have to admit that you made a wrong choice, and that likely this choice that you made was not necessarily done out of ignorance. You probably knew better, and you made this decision anyway. And you played a stupid game and then won a stupid prize, and now you don't want to own up to it because it makes you feel ashamed. It makes you feel stupid. It makes you feel, like maybe somebody's judging you or looking down on you because you made certain decisions, instead of saying, you know what, it doesn't matter what someone else's perception of that is. It probably was stupid. Likely I did know better than that. And this is what's got me feeling guilty and ashamed about the decision and or the outcome of the decision. Instead of trying to cover up your shame, instead of trying to cover up your guilt, instead of trying to shift the blame and all of these other sorts of things and make excuses about, well, why you made that decision and what was going on. And there's a thin line between the reason and the excuse. There's a thin line between the reason you did something and the excuse for why you did it. And a lot of women do not know where that line is. They have no concept of where that line is or when it's drawn or when they've crossed it, right? Because you've crossed over into excuses when the story never ends with you taking accountability for it. That's when you've gone into the land of excuses. If you give a reason, okay, this was the reality of the situation. However, I did make the decision, even if it was under such and such circumstances, or I was feeling a certain type of way, or I was thinking a certain type of thing, whatever the case may have been, that may be true. But what is also true is that I did XYZ. It got me ABC outcome, and that's my bad. That's my bad. See, women are not only allergic, so-called, to accountability, they're allergic to shame and being looked upon as less than, or looked upon as not good enough, or being looked upon as a failure of some sort. And the crazy part about it is everybody fails at some point at something. There's no person that done got to a big age or even a little age that has never failed at something, that has never took a gamble and it didn't pan out, or even overlooked the shortcomings of something, especially as an adult. You have overlooked the red flags of a situation, and or you have consciously decided you was going to do this, regardless of who told you not to do that, or how much you knew better than to do that, or whatever the other circumstances may have been. A lot of times we hard-headed and we bullheaded, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, period. And once we do what I want to do, and then you get what you get from doing what I want to do, then now we don't want nobody to judge it. Now we don't want nobody to bring it up. Now we don't want nobody to make us face what it is. This is where the dodging of accountability is. This is where the lack of being able to receive correction from any source comes from. This is why it doesn't matter the source. It doesn't matter if it's a woman she knows, if it's a man she knows, if it's somebody that has her best interest at heart, a stranger, a old person, an elder, a young person, a person in some form of authority, whether that be spiritual or a therapist, or whomever, wherever direction that correction and accountability is coming from. A lot of women, the majority of women, are going to rebuff and rebuttal that, because along with taking accountability comes their own feelings that's inside of them. Nobody else is contributing to that. Man, I messed up. Man, you know what I'm saying? I was stupid. Man, I did this stupid thing and I knew better than to do that, but I did it anyway because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And now I don't want nobody to call me on my stuff. Because when they call me, I get offended. Because when they call me on my stuff, it brings up those feelings of guilt. It brings up those feelings of inadequacy. It brings up those feelings of feeling dumb, feeling stupid, feeling a type of way, as the young kids say, about whatever the circumstances were or whatever the outcomes were, whatever it is. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like she gave an example. If I say baby mamaism is not the goal, instead of, like she said, reflecting and saying, you know what, a rampant single motherhood isn't the goal. It isn't. Whether I fall in that category or not, it isn't the goal. So instead of being reflective and introspective about, you know what, it's not a good thing to advocate, for a lack of healthy family structures in our community, whether I'm a part of the problem or not. Y'all be getting butthurt in your feelings because you a single mama, or your mama was a single mama, or your sister is a single mama, or you know what I'm saying, all your good girlfriends is single, or whatever. And then you, instead of the introspection, which is where correction comes from, which is where getting onto the right track and healing actually stems from, instead of doing that, you go into, well, nah, because this situation might have happened and you don't know how they came to be that way, and you just judge people. See, ain't nobody got time for all of that. Nobody's got time to be dissecting each individual's, certain circumstances and then trying to give a pass to it or not. Nobody's got time for that. It's just the blanket sentiment is still true that rampant single motherhood is not a good thing because it is a disruption of healthy family structures. And if we do not have healthy family structures, we cannot have a community. Communities are built upon families. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. And this is one reason why I say hyenas are born and they don't change. A hyena always a hyena. And a lioness is born. She's a lioness. The reason why I say all of that isn't because I don't believe that people have the capacity to change. That's not really where it's coming from. Hyenas have the capacity to change like any other human being would. However, they don't utilize the mechanism of change, which is truth telling first to yourself, tell the truth to yourself, and then face whatever that truth brings up. Whatever it brings up, you're going to have to deal with it. That is the first step of any healing process, any healing journey, any of that. The absolute first step is to tell the truth to yourself, because no healing, no journey, no fixing it is going to be able to be done based on a lie. This is why when people go to Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous and all of that type of stuff, and all of these groups where you've got some form of addiction, the first thing they tell you is you must acknowledge that you are here because you are an addict and you have a problem. We are not going to be beginning this 12-step program with you and you in step 5 still in denial about the fact that you addicted to X, Y, and Z. We're not going through these steps on these lies. The first step we going to do is tell the truth. And we going to tell the truth to ourselves about ourselves. If you're an addict, I got this problem, I'm studying out drinking and blah, 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 or whatever the case may be. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, that is what my problem is. And then you got to have the courage to say in front of whoever it is that's trying to help you, this is what it is. This is why they say when you go to therapy, no lies in therapy. No lies in the therapy, because the therapist cannot help you build a plan to help you get yourself together based on a foundation of lies. It can't happen. So if you agree with that, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.